they need the nutrients to make hormones. And that to me is really exciting. You mean I could just be deficient in something like DHEA, like D3. I could have an elevated protein like SHBG, and I could take something simple like boron and lower that and raise my hormones and feel a lot better. Yes. I'm not saying that you have to go and get on hormone injections by any means. But I am saying that you need to get data on the deficiency so that you can drive a state of being optimal. Because so many people that I work with will call me like, weeks into our journey and say, oh my God, Gary, I feel amazing. Including like Dana White. And I'm like, you really don't feel amazing. And they're like, what? I say, you feel normal, right? That's how normal's supposed to feel.
Yeah.
You're really supposed to feel that good, right? This
We're
wasn't
not used to that though.
We're not used to that.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what does it feel like? Have you worked in your clinics with women preparing to give birth and then post-giving birth?
Yes, quite a bit. In fact, our clinic director is a board certified OBGYN. She's a gynecological surgeon. She's got a double master's.
Because I feel like that journey, we still don't talk enough about how challenging it is on the human biology.
Oh yeah, it's very challenging. I mean, if you look at a woman's, what happens during a woman's menstrual cycle, and you look at what happens when she becomes pregnant, it's perfectly normal during regular cyclical periods of her cycle for her estrogen to be as high as, in the 400s, perfectly normal for it to be in the teens. So it has a very large frequency, rise and fall depending on where she is in the cycle. As soon as she becomes pregnant, estrogen goes into the 4000s, mainly because, one of estrogen's primary role is to retain water, to pad the uterus and protect the fetus. Has other roles, but it retains water. But postpartum, you don't want to be estrogen dominant. And it's not necessarily for women, especially the level of hormone. It is the ratio of hormones in their body. And, Dr. Sardis, who's our OBGYN, is phenomenal about pre and postpartum care. She's an enormous believer that certain gene mutations like MTHFR, which increase the frequency of miscarriage. She delivered 9,000 babies, so she's very qualified to speak on that. That the gene mutation that is one of the most common gene mutations in the world, the MTHFR.
What does it do?
It stands for methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. It is the gene that codes for the conversion of folic acid and its derivatives like folate into the usable form called methylfolate. And this is what I mean. We have a process in the body called methylation, which is where we take one raw material, which is useless, folic acid, for example, entirely useless in human body,